Hello everyone, welcome to Fableheim and the patch notes for Age of Wonders 4, the Golem update. The free update coming alongside Empires and Ashes, the DLC releasing today, November 7th. My series for Draz Hoeth the Exalted will begin tomorrow on November 8th, and I hope you're excited, because I am. And there's going to be some extra spice in the series that I hope you're looking forward to. I'm quite proud of all the opponents I have chosen. But enough about tomorrow. Let's focus on today. I'm on the Paradox forum where the full notes are available, and I will of course link to this in the description down below for you to read at your leisure if you would like. So for the highlights, the new feature, the Item Forge. It is infinitely improved from Age of Wonders 3. To unlock the Item Forge, you require the Item Forge city structure. This structure is unlocked after you build the Wizard Tower Foundation. Oh, it's the Foundation. I thought it was level 1. Well, that's good. If you take the new Reclaimer's trait, you start with it, by the way. In your arsenal, you can disenchant items. This will give you Binding Essence, which is used to forge new items. You will not be able to sell items for gold anymore, but you can still trade them for gold to other rulers. I never used that feature anyway. It sold for like 7 gold. Not worth. You can change damage channels of primary weapons. You can add passive properties on almost all items. You can add active abilities on staves, melee weapons, and wands. You have a limited infusion selection at the start. You need to collect magic materials to unlock fusions. Collecting more of the same magic material will unlock more powerful infusions. I wonder if this will make the talented collector trait more powerful, or if we're still going to ignore that. I think we're collectively still going to ignore that. The new feature, War Coordination. Added a War Coordination panel, a cooperation panel with the Free City interface. This panel handles Free City interactions such as trading and War Coordination. War Coordination is available to any Free City that has reached the Vassalage Diplomatic state. If in this stage your Vassalage level drops to Tributary or below, War Coordination will be blocked. Instruct your vassal to attack a variety of locations, whether they are infestations or enemy cities, or instruct them to defend your own cities. Review the time until the next attack, or spend Imperium to immediately call for an attack. When reinforcing a vassal through the Rally of Lieges, you can now choose to have those units join the next mission of the vassal. This means the recruited units will join the vassal city's next attack or defense mission. When a free city's army pillages a province, it will now give the pillage rewards to their overlord, and will send a notification about this. No more will a full infestation cover the entire terrain of a free city. No more. Well, hopefully. Also, using the Rally of Lieges, you could build a pretty gnarly assault force, which could be a lot of fun. Although I imagine it will always just be one stack that's sent out for the attack or defense mission. So, we'll see. The form traits have been overhauled. So form traits have been reworked from mind and body traits to a point-buy system. Traits now cost between 1 to 3 points, and players have 5 points to spend on traits. Some, like mounts and terrain adaptations, are mutually exclusive. Default traits for all forms have all been updated, so they will always spend all 5 available points. There are some new form traits. The Hideous Stench. Adjacent enemies have -2 resistance and -2 status resistance. This is a 3-point trait, and it is very good. This is a callback to the Goblins from Age of Wonders 3. Light-footed, friendly units do not block movement. Despite how strong this sounds, this is a 1-point trait, and also a default trait for the Avian form, the new Avian form. Sharp Eyes. Units have +1 vision and +1 sensing range on the world map. This is also a 1-point trait, and it's whatever. Changes to existing form traits. All of the adaptations, except for Underground, obviously, can terraform one province from the start of the game. Or they get a spell that allows them to terraform one province at a time from the start of the game, which better suits their adaptation, of course. Also, replaced -2 movement reduction in their associated terrain with a special walk. Okay, sure. Hardy, renamed from Hearty. Get it? Reduce HP given from 10 to 8. The nerfs are coming. Athletics, renamed from Fast Initiative. Grants units fast movement on the world map and in combat. This is another 3-point trait that is basically new. This makes it so that your slowest racial unit will have 40 points of movement. According to Tom, this is equivalent to roughly 2 more tiles of movement on the world map and 1 more in combat. But I, of course, must remind you of advanced logistics, which makes it a lot more. I don't know if I probably won't be using this in the Drazhoath playthrough. Dwarves are not known for their athleticism, but this will be good fun. Resilient has been combined with Resolute. Gives +2 status resistance and reduces negative status effects by 1 turn. I believe this is also a 3-point trait. 3 or 2. This is a 3 or 2er. Adaptable. Change from plus 30% experience to plus 20% experience for non-heroes. Huge nerf. Fast recuperation. Increased HP recovery from +5 to +10 above. Strong now grants a +2 flat physical damage instead of percentage, big F. Elusive, reduced defense and resistances from +6 to +4. Ooh, another nerf. I was thinking strong might actually be good. It's more like it's better now in the early game and weaker now in the late game for like end game units. I think that's how that'll work out. Poisonous. Increased chance to trigger poison from 30% to 60%. Oh. In an earlier build of the game that they showed off, this was increased to 90%. I guess they just thought that was too good. It also now makes you immune to poisoned entirely, which I don't know why it's not listed here. And I believe poisonous is a 3-point trait now because of insane stuff. You know, being immune to one of a common status effect. We'll do that. Exotic mount traits now only give 40 move points to mounted units. If a mounted unit already had 80 or 48 movement points, then it will keep that. Okay. Is this referencing primarily the optional cavalry units? Because I imagine a unit that was already mounted would already have 48 movement. Alright, something to keep note of. That's still the amount of movement you can get with athletics, so. Water gameplay overhaul. Now most of this... let's read this first before I come up with any conclusions. You can annex coastal provinces with the general improvements that also work on the land. This allows your boosts, improvement stacking effects, and adjacency bonuses to activate using coastal annexation. You can always build a fish farm on coastal provinces. You can build a dredger quarry or nautical research post on coastal provinces with sunken ruins. You can build a mangrove forester on coastal provinces with mangrove forests. You can build a wave conduit or pearl mine on coastal provinces with pearl reefs. And the oyster reef node has been renamed to the pearl reef and now grants mana and gold instead of just gold. That is very good. And alongside this, Experienced Seafarer has changed, which makes me sad that the Jaina playthrough has just ended, because it's very good. The changes to Experienced Seafarer no longer reduces the cost to recruit and maintain naval units. Instead, it grants embarked units plus 20% damage. No longer grants +2 ranked naval units. Instead, it grants embarked units plus 20% experience gain. And no longer grants +2 gold, food, and draft per fishery. Instead, it grants +2 gold, food, and draft per coastal and river provinces. This is absolutely insane. Man. Olwe weeps in Mage Haven, knowing what could have been. What could have been. Now, the reason they got rid of all of this naval stuff reduction is because naval units are now referred to as embarked units. I think they said... Yes, it's right here. Sorry, I'm skipping around a little bit, but this all ties together, I promise. They added 9 unique ship models based on the unit role and disabled the recruitment of the ram warship and the ballista warship. So the Navy units, the water explosive units no longer exist. Now, I have mixed feelings on this. On the one hand, it was pretty annoying to have like a full 6-stack or 2 or even 3 that just kind of sat on the coast staring and daring enemy AI to walk into the water for them to attack. Which they never would, by the way. They never would. That was kind of annoying. But on the other hand, naval warfare gameplay has always been a part of Age of Wonders. At least the last 2. I can't speak for 1 or 2, but 3 and Planetfall, naval units were a deal. Kind of a big deal on certain map types. So, mixed feelings here. But, of course, the best way is to get my hands on it and see how it feels. So, updates to Water Vision. Reduce the vision range bonus land units gained from embarking onto ships from +3 to +2. Land units gain vision bonus? Huh? Oh, for Water Vision. Is this like a trait that some units have? Added a +2 vision range bonus to floating and amphibious units when they're in the water. Note that flying units always have a +2 vision range bonus. Vision range bonus. Alright. Sure. The naval units are now referred to as embarked. And embarked now reduces armor and resistance by 2. They listened. Embarkation was a huge deal in previous titles. And in Age of Wonders 4, it used to just be minus 10% damage dealt. And it was like, whatever, who cares? Now minus 2 is a big deal. This will send people in the streams they did, one of their units had -1 defense. Like that, oof. That's gonna crump things. Added the underground passages on the water, connecting the sea with underground rivers and lakes. Excellent changes. Phenomenal change. This will actually be helpful in the map type I plan to use for the Draz-Hoath campaign. I'm not going to do islands again, despite how much I want to, with all these changes, but there will be a large body of water. Hint, hint. Added 7 new water combat maps. The Mangrove Forest, the Sunken Ruins, the Pearl Node, the Fish Node, the Water Improvement, and 2 natural oceans. They talked about how a lot of the water combat maps were just kind of like open sea, which you would expect in the open sea. But, you know, it was kind of bland. Got boring to play after a while, so they added some stuff all about. New content. Events. 18 events focused on war. 4 First Meet events, 8 Free City War events, 5 Empire at War events, and 1 Army Surrender event. An Army Surrender event. Is this like when you're sieging? I think I've seen one of these. When you're sieging a free city, you can get like an event where an army surrenders to you and can like even infiltrate for you. I think I saw that in my very first playthrough. Okay. And there are 6 new war-oriented quests. Okay. New content, the Pantheon update. Oh boy. New banner icon unlocks a pirate banner. This better be a skull and bones. If this is not a skull and bones, I will be supremely disappointed. The Commonwealth Remnant banner, the Commonwealth Philosophers banner, the Krasura banner, and the Avian Reavers banner. Okay, sure. I, of course, have the More Banner mod. I hope this doesn't break this, because in the streams they did, the banners were all, like, sorted by types. So I hope the more banner mod isn't broken. We'll see. Added new hero origin unlocks. A veteran hero origin, a captain hero origin, and a hunter hero origin. Gotta be honest, team. I don't know what this means. Is this... I have no idea what this means. It's in the Pantheon. Added new society trait unlocks the Relentless Crusaders and the Merciless Slavers. Ooh, the Relentless Crusaders, I didn't quite understand it, but it was in one of the dev streams, and it gives you Imperium. It's a way to get Imperium by murdering people from other empires. I think it's like 2 Imperium and something else per kill that you get from another empire. So this could be obscenely strong. I wonder how it's all going to pan out. We'll see. We'll see. And Merciless Slavers, I don't know what it does, but that is kind of perfect for the Chaos Dwarves. Which is convenient because there was a second trait missing in my my choices, so that'll be pretty good. Reclaimers, Merciless Slavers. Boom. Dawizar. Added an Item Forge Visual Unlock tree. Yes, so they have a second Pantheon tree now. It has like 52 or 53 options. They are all cosmetic models for things you can create in the Item Forge. So alternative icons and models for weapons and shields, and alternative icons for armor, rings, and trinkets. And all of the weapons and shields have their own models. Yeah, icons and models. Everything else, of course, is not displayed on the character. Quality of life updates. Auto combat, the combat engagement and combat results screen no longer block other players from taking actions if no other rulers are involved during simultaneous turns. Ah, look, multiplayer stuff. Wonder what that is. Added combat advantage settings for AI as well as humans. Ooh. Can I give the AI combat advantage against AI? Like just the trash? Maybe then the dragons can actually reach level 12. Added a new spellbook interface, and it is beautiful. I love the new spellbook. Added AI personality picker. I asked for this. I'm very happy about this. And I believe, I don't know if they'll explain it later, but if you pick a personality type, it can kind of direct the AI what tech path to go. So for example, in the Jaina playthrough, both Lord Nathaniel Marr and Prince Arthas were chivalrous diplomat, is that what that was? So they both ultimately went order, but they still kind of took different paths to get there. So I'm not sure I want to use this because, you know, of course you can use this to like solidify the lore of a character because I always custom make all my opponents. But on the other hand, if I use this, this means I'm not going to get any weird situations like Peacekeeper Grimgore. That was amusing. Completely ridiculous, but amusing. So, I don't know, 50-50 on this. Added the Pangea map type. Oh, well, I have to use the new map type. I was going to go Divided. The one with the 2 lands and then the giant ocean in the middle. I guess now I have to go Pangea. Wasn't this a mod? Improve the island map type. They will now have a lot more water and different sizes of islands. I thought the island map was already pretty good. I mean, the Jaina map generation was pretty clean. It was pretty good. Although there were some large chunks of land. Alrighty. Highlights out of the way. Let's get into the nitty gritty. General. Added an exclusive full screen mode in the graphics options. No. Added resolution selection to the graphics options, only available in exclusive full screen. Intro video can now be skipped by pressing escape, enter, or spacebar. I spam escape when I'm booting up the game. Several optimizations were done in model PFX, animation data, and modularity refreshes. I totally know what this means, but good. Great. In the AI, optimization for AI performance. Good. You know what? I don't even need to know what you did. Just keep optimizing it. Every patch notes, I want to see optimization for AI performance. City mission generation. This handles structure construction and unit recruitment. The AI will now also make use of the boost free city negotiations options on hard and hardest difficulty, which of course is the only difficulty that I'm allowed to play on. Adjusted amount of pickups and adjusted amount of pickups the AI targets. Oh, the AI goes for those. Okay, got it. Disabled forced duration for missions that take longer than 1.5 turns. Sure. Adjusted priority for nearby targets. Removed the old scout unit production logic. Were they just producing scouts? Implemented support for free cities to use siege projects. Oh, that's good. The combat AI. Oh, here we go. Reworked threat assessment of units in combat. The AI will now consider units as dangerous as their strongest ability, whether this be a damage ability, buff, debuff, summon, etc. This should lead to support in ranged units being targeted more. Good. Because they didn't do that before. Rebalanced low health unit prioritization. This should lead to AI focusing more on killing off low health units when possible. I submitted during the AI survey, this, that the AI had a tendency of just leaving things alive at like 10 health. There was a fight in, was it the Blint playthrough? Where I went into a fight against like, I think I had the Horned God. Yeah, I had the Horned God. That was the one that I stole, corrupted, quote unquote. And in that fight, I had like 3 units that lived at like 5 hit points for the latter half of the fight, and they really should not have. So, I'm glad they heard my cry, and they will now be picking off the weak. Culling the weak. Tactical AI will now focus even more on low health units when it knows it's going to lose. Oh. Huh. To make you bleed as much as possible. Interesting. Add a local friend/foe balance checks for standing positions to reduce fast and teleporting units rushing in. Okay. Rework cautious approach logic that controls unit movement in the first 1 or 2 turns to form better formations. They talked about this in the one of the streams. They didn't like it how the AI would all bundle up into one hex radius and then kind of move forward, because it was really easy for players to just blow them up with AoE spells or AoE attacks. So in an open field map anyway, the AI is going to spread out a lot more and kind of move as a wave instead of moving as these little satellites of just a giant target. Of course, that'll be different, I think, on siege defenses, because, you know, they're all trying to go to the walls or whatever they're doing. Rebalance Spite mode to inflict more casualties. Spite is a mode that the AI enters when it knows it cannot win the battle. I wonder if this will affect auto-resolve. It should, because the auto-resolve is just a simulated fight. By simulated, I mean the AI plays it out. Addressed under and overvaluing of the threat of some units' abilities. This should help the AI pick their targets better and better estimate if they are winning or losing. Okay. Hey, look, art changes. Tweaked the world map visuals of the owned underground passage. New icons for the Siegecraft unit type. Poison weapons hero skill and unit property. Decaying status effect. Restoration signature hero skill and unit ability. The experienced leader hero skill. Control loss immunity unit property. The Wind Barrier Aura unit property, and the True Sight unit property. I almost made it through this whole thing without misspeaking. So close, and yet so far. For the audio, there's some technical stuff here, and I really would love to say I understand it, but I don't. I'm assuming this is all good. If anyone does understand this, you'll let me know. The important stuff here is they updated the castanet sound effect. It was like that sound effect. Updated mixing for the Spirit Hawk, Carrion Bird, and Grim Beak Crow. Grim Beak. A Break. That, what even is this? Oh yeah, it's just like a random level 1 base, I think. This used to be the scout unit for the rogue in Age of Wonders 3. Updated the cavern ambience, and then updated sound for harassed defenders and headlong assault. The siege projects. Combat! Oh boy. Oh, dominated. Added a new status effect, Dominated. This is identical to Mind Control, except that the player who applied the effect will get the option to purchase the unit after combat with mana, if they can end the combat quickly enough. Dominated is applied by the following units and items: the Nymph, the Lightbringer, and the Wand of Domination. Oh look, I was right, I called it. Man. The thing is, this isn't that bad, right? Like, all these things could already convert, but I just have horrible flashbacks of Age of Wonders 3 and people spawning armies from literally nothing because they stole them all from the enemies. And in Age of Wonders 3, you could mind control heroes. Like, in order for heroes to get mind control immunity, which they have, thankfully, in Age of Wonders 4, you had to get a level up trait. And of course, you couldn't take leaders, but the leaders were the only thing that were immune by default. That might have been some high tier stuff. You get the point. PTSD, basically. Passive that triggered on any spellcasts are now only triggered by friendly spells. The following were affected: the Arcane Surge hero skill, the Attunement Starblades, the Attunement Fortune, and the Attunement Mana Addict. Interesting. I kind of like that they were triggered by enemy spells, because it was signifying the fact that they were attuned to magic just in general, not just your magic. Ah well. The camera should ping-pong around a lot less. It now stays in the location where it moved to show something to the player and continues from there. Beforehand, it would move back to its original location in between sequences, interrupting the movement. Still behaves the same as before. Oh, that's why it looks so strange sometimes. It would try and go back. Why? Well, I'm glad it's been changed. Enable previewing AoE attacks with full info when holding control in combat. Okay. The abilities of enemy units can now be selected to view previews of what they will do to your own units. Good. Slow. We did it. I repeated it enough. Slow no longer removes retaliation completely. Yep. It removes one retaliation. So if a unit has more than one, they can still have retaliations. Must I keep... I'm going to have to keep doing it, aren't I? So basically, slow no longer completely nullifies spears and bigger spears. Interesting. I wonder if this... retaliation... would it still remove or disable attack of opportunity? Well, we'll find out. Hastened adds one retaliation to affected unit. Really? Huh. Poison... oh yeah. Poison now stacks up to 5 times and deals 4 damage per stack. Bleeding now stacks up to 5 times and deals 4 damage per stack. Slightly reduced the time between turns. It was taking quite long. That's true. Used to be 3 seconds, now 2 seconds. Slightly. Yeah, so poison and bleeding are now stacking debuffs, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, because these are applied, well, at least poison is applied by weapon enchants. There can be. Is there a bleeding weapon enchant? I don't think there is right now. How is bleeding even applied? I guess we'll find out. There are probably many ways. And if anyone's going to bleed people to death, it's the Dowizar. The combat map. When fighting on Ancient Wonders without exploring them, you instead get a new exterior Ancient Wonder map. This was added mainly for when fights happen between player armies during the Magic Victory, in which players have to keep control of ancient golden wonders. Oh, that's cute. When fighting to take back a conquered city from occupiers, you will be fighting on a new city streets combat map. Oh, that's cool. That's pretty neat. My instant thought for this was the, oh, I just unlocked a memory. Warhammer Online, Age of Reckoning, was an MMO. And the ultimate goal, it was all sorts of borked. Let's not get into that. But I did have lots of fun memories of the end game was basically taking over the enemy capital city and then raiding it, in quotation marks, to kill all the leaders and get the loot. And so this just reminded me of running through Altdorf and crumping the forces of order. I was a goblin shaman. Gabbin! And I was also a chaos alchemist? Is that what those guys were called? The healers? And I also played a dark elf sorceress. Anyway, got distracted there. Diplomacy. Added alternate text in the diplomacy screen for when a player does not have a thrown city. Before it would say not discovered and added tooltips. Oh. The declare war / respond to call to war screen will now also list players that can receive a call to war as a result of the war starting. Oh, that's good. More information is always better. Fully justified wars now ignore the penalties of breaking any treaties when war is declared. Oh. Wow. Okay, I guess that's fair. AI rulers with a negative relation are now more prone to going to / maintaining a war with the ruler that is in the final countdown of a victory condition. Yeah, that makes sense. Some restrictions on gaining a defensive pact / alliance are now removed if the opposing ruler is a vassal of one of your allies, to make sure you are always able to end a game diplomatically and gain good relations with your allies' vassal rulers. That makes sense, but I have never seen the AI take on a vassal. Never. Honestly, has the AI ever killed anybody? Not really. Tweak the pressure system slightly to make sure that in general the AI is slightly less aggressive to allow for more player agency. I kind of like the AI's aggression. Updated the pressure system balance to make sure not all rulers are hostile on hard and brutal difficulty. Okay, that's fair. They all pretty much hate you on meeting you in brutal difficulty. They kind of get over it. Well, some of them kind of get over it, and some of them just go in on hating you. We now show the value of the grievance gained from the Fabricate Grievance option in the tooltip. It's plus 20. Unless you have Declare Rival, then it's... Is it plus 28? Yeah, you get the point. Grievance tooltip and info updated to show rival justification more clearly. Vassal cities will now also share their soul's income, even if they're not necromancers? Huh. Trades and treaties. Added the option to peacefully end a resource / magic material treaty without causing an alignment penalty by making a trade proposal. This will not break any other treaties made in the same deal. You can also still break treaties forcefully. Cool. When proposing a resource or magic material treaty to another player, you can now set how long the treaty will last or keep it at indefinite, which is the default. When the treaty expires, it will not break any other treaties that were made in the same deal. Nice. I thought some of these were... I thought they were not indefinite. So I guess now that clears it up. The AI will now offer / ask for more realistic amounts of in-resource treaties, gold / mana. It is now also correctly based on the actual income of a player and has limits to prevent the values from being too high. Oh, is this when they want something? They've asked me for obscene amounts of stuff, for wizard bonds or defensive stuff. out of their mind. Of course, most of that was Blint, and he is literally out of his mind. When offering or requesting resource/magic material treaties, the opposing ruler will no longer ask for/offer finite resources as payment, but instead will propose a resource treaty as payment. Oh, that's cool. Equipment trading now uses the actual item cost again instead of the sell value. This means they are more expensive again. Limits have been added so the AI will not sell or buy them for a price that is too far away from the actual value. How many times have they tried to fix this? Is this the third time? I think this is the third time. Well, it was nice enjoying the 40 gold tier 4 items. It was. I made use of it. I'm not gonna... I won't deny it. I abused it. But it was a feature. Added per turn mention to resource trees to make it clear that the gold/mana is exchanged every turn. Added a new notification panel when declarations have ended to better explain which declaration ended, why, and to whom it belonged. That's good. Added shields to the declaration ended notification and differentiated their/your declaration in the title. When switching between rulers using the shields in the top bar, we now attempt to keep the trade screen open instead of going back to the main diplomacy screen, only if you can trade with the other ruler. An updated trade items tooltip with proper formatting. These are all good changes. I kind of hope, I know it's a little bit to ask because I think Age of Wonders 4 has more victory conditions than any other Age of Wonders before it. I think so. But I kind of hope there's like a true diplomatic victory condition that's added eventually, somehow. Where you don't fight, I mean, maybe you fight a little bit, but like you agree, because right now there's allied victory, which is if you win using any of the previous conditions, you bring your allies with you, and there's unity victory, which is just basically expansion victory. But there's no, I talked it out with the rest of the remaining people and they're on board to shake hands and coexist. There's none of that. There's no that. And I kind of hope there is someday. Even if it's just like them expanding allied victory from what it is to, or adding new options to it. I don't know. Maybe they can't do it. Maybe we've got what we've got and that's good enough. But we'll see. You know, the future's open. Factions. Added a new personality trait, the Economic Warlord. This type likes warmongering and trading. Great. Adjusted the personality of several pre-made rulers, DLC and core game, to reflect their tone paths and actual personality better. I forgot there were pre-made rulers. I'm making my own. Updated the random personality picker to only select a personality from the ones that best match the ruler's affinities. Previously, it could also pick from personalities that had a lower match score. Ah, the peacekeeping Grimgore. Yes, I remember. I recall. Improved faction customization. All forms can now choose skin decorations for their armies. The feline, ratkin, toadkin, and molekin form can choose the heads for their armies. Oh. Oh, this probably just is a copy from the Lord. Got it. Randomized faction shields will now match the culture and affinity of their factions. This works for random generated factions as well as when randomizing a duplicate color. Okay. Society traits. Added new society traits. The Hermit Kingdom. This astral society trait is for those that prefer to live in isolation. Experience the benefits of solitude through increased city stability and knowledge income, and condemn those that dare come close. You're not gonna specify? Okay. Brain, remember, this is plus 20 city stability and plus 50 knowledge. Income. 50 seems high. For any city who does not border another border. I'm not sure if it counts your own. And you start with 100 additional Imperium. I pulled all of that out of my head, so we'll see if that's right. And Reclaimers. This Materium Society trait is for true crofters that know how to use every bit of material left behind after a battle. These materials are then reused to craft more suitable items. Again, not going to explain, that's fine, I'll do it for you. That gives plus 200 binding essence at the start. You also begin with the Wizard's Tower item forge in your capital city on turn 1, and you also gain binding essence from raising cities, clearing infestations, and clearing ancient wonders. Boom, off the top of my head. Future Fabe may or may not include screenshots from the dev stream. We'll see. Hopefully he remembers. Chosen Destroyers. Increase the income per raised city from 40 gold, 20 mana, and 20 knowledge to 40 gold, 40 mana, and 40 knowledge. Chosen Destroyers is the weakest trait in the game. Hands down. This makes it a little better. And to think at the start it was 2020. The real problem with Chosen Destroyers is that the only way to really keep up with the ability to expand... By the way, what makes it weak is that you can only have one city. You're basically playing mega cities while everyone else is playing a free expansionism. So, the only really way to keep up is to raise a city, leave its ruins, and bait the AI to make it again, and then raise it again. That's the only way to keep up. And you can actually get, like... I believe it was Spiffing Brit who did, like, literally infinite income by doing that. But in, like, a normal playthrough, this is so hard to keep up with the AI, especially brutal AI. And if you give Chosen Destroyers to an AI, they fumble. One of the dragons from the special scenario trait is a Chosen Destroyer, and she's the weakest by far. Like, I just rolled over her. So, I don't know what they need to do to Chosen Destroyers, because if you raise these numbers too much, they're just going to be... They'll outscale a regular player with minimal effort. So I feel like it needs an additional affix on top of this, instead of just raising these numbers. I don't know, things to think about. Chosen Uniters no longer starts with a Diplomatic Focus Empire skill. Instead, it starts with a +1 Whispering Stone base. You can have 5 as Chosen Uniter? Ooh. Increased vassal income bonus from +20% to +30%. I already thought Chosen Uniters was good. I already thought this was a pretty good trait. Now it's amazing. Perfectionist Artisans. Reduced city camp penalty from -2 to -1. Yeah. Perfectionist Artisans is a hard sell. So this makes it better. This is the one that increases the production cost of everything in your city by 100%. So it doubles it. But everything gives you +5 gold. And I think some city stability? I think it's just +5 gold. Silver Tongue. Replace Diplomatic Focus Empire with Court of Whispers. Ooh, that's a good change. It's pretty far down the Shadow Tree. Good change, though. Adept Settlers now grants the first unlock of Expanded Governance to give +1 city cap rather than giving a flat city cap increase. This is a nerf. Because the way they're saying that, it used to just be a +1 city cap, but now the way they're saying this is the initial one, which I believe is 200, has been consumed. So in order to get to that 5th city, you would have to pay... Is it 500? 400? 500? Like everyone else. So it's less of a just raw boon and more of a leapfrog talent. But I mean, Adept Settlers is still really good. So, is what it is. Free City. Free cities created upon a player's defeat will now remain at war with players with whom the defeated player was at war with. These cities will send a notification offering to make peace for free or to remain at war if declined. Any active sieges will no longer be cancelled. Good. This has happened to me. You can now make treaties with free cities even if they can only be afforded for 1 turn. Previously, it would require you to be able to pay for the full duration up front. Oh, the upkeep stuff? The event, Defeated Player Banished to the Void, now also triggers when another player is defeated by a free city. Not just by a player. Defeated by a free city. Defeated by a free city. So, ironically, I've never seen this happen. But the first Reaver playthrough I'm going to do is on full brutal difficulty. Meaning the free cities are going to be juiced. So, We may see this happen. Improved Rally of the Lieges tooltips to explain recruitment points and the rally pool buildup. Good. The number of units available in the Rally of Lieges is now unlimited, instead of having a hard limit of 20 units. Thank you! Thank the Dark Gods! So the reason this was shit before is because every time the Rally of Lieges refreshed, it could give you units you didn't like. It could, if you had a Bone Dragon in the rally and you couldn't afford it, or you're like, oh, I don't know if I want this, I'll just wait it out, and then next turn the rally resets. Now the Bone Dragon's gone because it just YOLO'd its way out of there with this hard limit of 20 units. So big, good change. Bone Dragons are still trash, but big, good change. Heroes released from your prison back to a free city will now spawn off-map when that free city is occupied or under siege to prevent the hero being captured again. Okay. I didn't even know they did that. Heroes. The hero's skill, Killing Momentum, no longer gives enough move points to move a hex when it returns on action point. Big sad. Big sad. That was so helpful. Well, I mean, this just makes Blink and Demonic Step more helpful. Signature skill, Dark Ritual, is now once per battle. The raised zombies now start with 1 AP. This is the... Was it a 1 hex radius? I think it was a 1 hex radius. It deals frost damage, and any corpses are raised zombies. I guess it was a little too strong, but I haven't really been using it. The Grave Call, gained from the Staff of Enoch, is no longer dispelled by healing or negative effect dispels. Cool. I don't know what that is. For the interface, the game now prioritizes certain fonts depending on the set language. This is to fix incorrect glyphs in the Japanese language. Alright, Nihon, congratulations. Added individual icons for DLC information used in the front end. Icons now reflect whether you own the content or not. Story event affinity checks now show the effects that it will have in the success/failure screen. Don't. Wait, do I care about this? Story event affinity checks. Story, or like quests? I think this is good. I think this is a good change. Enabled the in-world elements and banners to be displayed in the background during story events. Okay. Rework and updates. Reworked the city's overview screen. Please tell me you show city stability now. Please. There was no reason for that not to be there. Reworked the quest overview and tracker. Updated the banner and color pickers. Banner. Yeah, this is in the character creation. They like sorted the banners. That thing. I hope I didn't break the mod. Updated the outpost screen. Good. Added combat in progress indicator for all game modes and turn systems. Added completed tab to realm selection to show completed story realms. Don't care. Added diplomacy ranking button and sorting to the diplomacy overview screen. What are we sorting in diplomacy? Added a go to magic materials button in the magic material location panel. Thank you. Changed the go to magic victory button to be consistent with the go to magic materials button. Or go to magic victory button. Okay. Improved the UX on the siege screen when adding siege projects. The side menu will now stay open until all slots have been filled. You can manually close the side menu now. Thank you. No longer click, select the thing, click, select the thing, click, select the thing. Reward panel now calculates the amount of rows and columns based on the amount of rewards instead of having a fixed size. Oh. Cute. Unit panels will now only show every property once if the unit has the same property from multiple sources. Unit panels. Is this like stacking buffs or debuffs? City production list remembers the position of the scroll bar after inspecting a unit in the unit production list in the city interface. Good change. Small, minute, insignificant change, but good change. The population starve notification. Have I ever had a starving pop? Now has the name of the province and moves the camera to the province on selection. How do you even trigger starving population? Duplicate notifications from victory conditions are now filtered out to avoid spam. Thank you. Tooltip improvements. Added tooltip to discounted skill icon in the research screen. Okay. Added fortification damage when examining siege projects in tomes. Very good. Very good. Because there are some siege projects like, does this even do fortification damage? Only to find out it does almost the highest in the game. Think about that chaos thing that I can't remember. Added the spellcasting cost when examining spells in tomes. Good. Added icons to enchantments for unit types that did not have them before the animal or elemental unit types. That did not have them before. Oh, like animal and elemental. Okay, got it. Added tooltips to the combat history and spellcasting buttons on the leader portrait and tactical. The tooltip for founding an outpost will now display an error message if the center hex of the province is occupied by an enemy army. The economic penalty of having cities over the city cap can now be seen in the city count tooltip in the top bar. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's usually pretty hefty, but there was, of course, no way to know because it wouldn't tell you. You just had to figure it out by increasing your city cap. Controls. Move the center view unselected object to the correct key binding category. Pressing the back button on a controller while having a structure, Outpost, Ancient Wonder, Underground Passage screen open will now keep the stack selected. Disabled the swapping of the A and B controller buttons in the key binding screen, as swapping major buttons like this is not fully supported. Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, please do not play a grand strategy game with a controller. I understand this game. I think this game's on Xbox, right? You have my sympathy. You do. I've played Halo Wars. Although that was more RTS and this is more like... I think it's turn-based makes it a lot easier, but still. The mouse goes a long way to helping out. Multiplayer! I don't know what any of this does. Because this requires having friends to play with. But hey, there you go, multiplayer. I hope it's finally slightly more stable, because I know that was the biggest complaint. Onboarding. Entered a confirmation dialogue when resetting help messages. Ensure the city of the player's race is present in the initiation realm. When you open the advice list while having advices disabled. Is this for like new players? Removed highlighting of buttons during tutorials when playing with the controller. Great. Encyclopedia. Pantheon. You can now ascend leaders of games that you've already won by loading the save and winning again. Oh. Rulers can still only be ascended once, of course. Oh, and here I wanted a full Pantheon of Uranus. You can no longer earn more points for the Pantheon when you already have enough points to unlock all remaining items. You can no longer earn more. That's not going to kill my current points, right? Because I have a lot, I think. Pantheon unlocks now state they require connected items rather than specifics, which imply the system doesn't unlock backwards as well. It does unlock backwards. Forming Realm and Warping Wilds now use terraforming templates instead of this old pure script-based setup. Soul spells now also cost 200% more souls to cast on realms with unlimited power. Same as mana, that'd be annoying. You can now replace a realm trait with a trait that it is blocked by. Oh, so like if you had incompatible traits, you couldn't have them both on, you can... Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. I hope I have all my Pantheon points, so I can just yeet them all. I'm of course going to spend them at the start of the Dressrosa playthrough. Tomes. Dual affinity tomes now require any mix of their respective affinities to match the affinity requirements to unlock it. I.e., Tome of Dragons requirements are met with 2 nature and 1 chaos, or 2 chaos and 1 nature. Huh, they added requirements to the dual affinities. I wasn't sure they were going to. I thought, because originally the way they worked is just if you had access to that tier of tome, you could get it. Interesting. All right. Sit up. Here we go. The Astral Tome. Tome of Evocation. The Evoker reduced resistance from 3 to 1. Why would you... Off to a great start. So I've actually never used the Evoker, but I feel like him having resistance is on point for a spellcaster, especially a tome spellcaster. But we move on. The Tome of Amplification is now a tier 3 tome. Casting cost of spells and skills adjusted accordingly. The combat spell, Chain Lightning, increased damage from 20 to 30. The hero skill, Spell Amplification, no longer stacks if multiple heroes have it in the same battle. Fun detected! Man, I enjoyed doing that. That's fine. It's okay. Maybe they made Spell Amp better, so stacking it wasn't really a requirement. We'll see. The Tome of Summoning is now a tier 2 tome. Okay. The casting cost of spells and skills adjusted accordingly. The combat spell Arcane Restoration increased heal from 20 to 25. Reduced the tome tier, increased the heal. To be fair, I don't know if anyone actually used Arcane Restoration. The Astral Serpent Melee Strike now has a base 90% chance of electrifying, and Shattering Refuge now has a 60% chance to apply it slow. I wonder if they nerfed the summoned units. They probably didn't. They were pretty trash. So, the Tome of Scrying, the Watcher. Reduced resistance from 4 to 2. It's a fucking Watcher! Were these really that powerful? I feel like you could have kept the resistance at 4. The Psychic Gaze can no longer be used when engaged in melee. Okay, that one makes sense. This nerf makes sense. The Tome of Teleportation. The Phasing Enchantment phase changed from a range 4, leave 1 ability to a range 6, full action? Phase is a full action? Phase Beast phase changed from range 4, leave 1 ability to a range 6, full action? What? What? No. No. When you say full action, what is this nerf? This isn't a nerf. This is the whole tower falling down on top of the Tome of Teleportation. Why would you? So if it's full action, this either means, I'm assuming what this means is this means it takes all 3 AP to teleport. That's what I think this means. That, or it means it takes no AP, but that would be like called a free action, right? Wow. Fuck, poor Astral. Poor Astral, you just got kicked while you were down. For Chaos, the Tome of the Horde combat spell Blaze of the Horde increased the damage bonus from 4 to 5. It decreased the mana and casting point from 1520 to 1015. Did Tome of the Horde need to... Oh, and the Houndmaster got an increase of 5 hit points. Did Tome of the Horde need to be buffed? I don't think it did. Tome of Pyromancy, Pyromancer, reduced resistance from 3 to 1. Okay, so they're just going through and nerfing all of the Tome casters. Fine. Tome of Mayhem, the Gremlin, behind you, now removes defense mode and retaliation. Doesn't apply on units with charge resistance. I think I'm about to pick up this tome now. Increase HP from 55 to 60. Increase defense and resistance from 1 to 2. Oh, so this one gets its resistance increased. Tome of Pandemonium, the Chaos Eater. Increase defense and resistance from 3 to 4. And the Chaos Bolt increased damage from 7 to 8. I believe this does like random damage types, right? Wow. The tome rebalances so far have been a little wibbly wobbly. Materium, look how long it is. The Tome of Rock. Earthkin no longer gives rocky camouflage. Instead, it gives mountain camouflage. No longer gives rocky walking, now it gives mountain walking. The Lesser Stone Spirit no longer has rocky camouflage. Instead, it has mountain camouflage. It now has mountain walking. Did they ever explain what this mountain walking is? I think it's a more universal version of Rocky. That or it's just different wording. I'm not sure. The Gargoyle no longer has Rocky camouflage. Instead, it has mountain camouflage. Here we go. The Tome of Enchantment. The Copper Golem is now treated as a non-magical unit, even when summoned, which changes its upkeep from mana to gold. This is because it now evolves as well. It is now a construct, yes, and lost the blight resistance and immunity to all status effect. They had to nerf constructs. There are too many good ones coming in. and it evolves now into the new Bronze Golem. The Tome of Winds. The combat spell Abducting Cyclone now stuns with a 90% chance. Reword a description to make it clear on what the spell does. So not only does it displace a unit, it's 2 tiles, right, that it displaces it? It stuns it. Alright. The world map spell Favorable Winds can now target land units but recovers only half of the movement points. Increased casting cost from 60 mana casting points to 80 mana casting points. Okay. How did this work again? I don't even remember. I haven't used the Tome of Winds. I've used it in like one playthrough, and I used it just because I haven't used it. Is this the tome that spawns the Zephyr Archer? Which, by the way, is not in this list of buffs and nerfs. The combat spell Dust Storm now deals 10 physical damage in addition to blinding. This used to be Blint's favorite spell in the world. He used to only cast this. The Wind Rager, the tier 2 elemental, is like the only tier 2 elemental in the game, by the way. The new passive Wind Barrier Aura. Adjacent friendly units have a plus 30% evasion to physical ranged and magical attacks. Fixed a bug where Whirlwind did not have an attack tag, thus did not get a damage bonus from buffs like Strengthened. You're telling me. Alright. I mean, to be fair, okay, my mind is... We're not even done yet with the Materium Tomes. My mind is boggled that Materium Tomes are being buffed and Astral Tomes are being nerfed. But Tome of Winds needed it. Nobody used the Tome of Winds for anything besides Zephyr Archer. And maybe the Scout thing, that the Scouts can fly. So the Tome of Winds needed it. The rest of the stuff on the list, we'll see. To be fair, Rock is just like changing the name, and Enchantment is just changing or bringing the Copper Golem in line with the new units. Tome of Artificing. The Iron Golem Assistant increased defense and resistance from 0 to 2. Ah, those poor spellcasters. The Iron Golem is now a construct and lost the blight resistance and immunity to all status effects. The Tome of Transmutation added the Transmutation Circle Special Province improvement. This structure can duplicate the effects and income of any magical material. Yep. Duplicate the effects. Boy, how fucked can I make that? This wouldn't be for the Draz Hoeth playthrough, but this means you could double the effectiveness of your Whispering Stones. You know, you get the +1 bonus to Whispering Stones for Diplomacy, now you get +2. Or was it what is it? It's Allegiance Generation, right? Now you can make it +2. This means... Okay, it's not Imperium income. That's from the effect itself. Can you get +10 from mana and research nodes? Which is the +5 from the whatever one? Or is it also the Cosmoflux? I'll have to look into this, but I feel like this could be absolutely nutty. Transmuter. Reduced resistance from 5 to 3. Yep. The Tome, at least this has been pulled in line. Tome of Terramancy. Earthshatter no longer creates rocky terrain. Stone Spirit no longer has rocky camouflage, has the mountain camouflage, and now has mountain walking. Tome of the Golden Realms. The Golden Golem is now a construct and has lost its blight resistance. Renamed Gilded Strike to Gilded Cleave and hits units in a 1 hex cone radius. You did not have to buff the Golden Golem. It was already the best mythic unit in the game. It was already there. It didn't need to be buffed. But alright. I guess it's a good thing we're going Materium. For the Nature Tomes. The Minor Transformation Animal Kinship. Animals also, I skipped the handle one. Animals also get the damage and crit hit bonus when adjacent to a transformed unit. Transformed. What? Cavalry units are no longer trigger this effect. This is okay. I mean, this is a nerf, right? But I never quite understood why cavalry units were included. I suppose the idea was supposed to be, oh, look. the cavalry units are mounted on animals, so they should be affected by animal kinship. But now there are bears, and the bears are good. So, also this is a roundabout nerf or indirect nerf to the spiders, because those continue to kind of be insane. The combat spell Call of the Wild increased strength and stacks from 1 to 2, and changed from battlefield wide to a 1 hex radius spell. Big F, big nerf, sad face. Tome of Fertility. The world map spell Restore the Land can now be used on neutral provinces. Oh. And the Nymph Seduce now has a range 3 single action. Is that a buff? I think that's a buff. Tome of Nature's Wrath. The combat spell Awaken Instinct. Healing increased from 15 to 25 temporary hit points and changed from battlefield wide to a 2 hex radius spell. Okay. I can work with that. And the Horned God gained melee range, allowing magic and support abilities to be used when in a unit zone of control, and reduced the range of all abilities to 4. Okay. Melee mage is good. I don't think his range was insane. I do recall summoning those annoying tentacles really far away. But okay, not bad. For Order, the Tome of Zeal, the Zealot. Increased defense and resistance from 1 to 2. Melee attacks have a 60% chance to apply contempt. The Tome of the Inquisition increased defense and resistance from 2 to 3. Increased HP from 80 to 90. Triumph Studios. The Zeal tomes, the Zeal units, didn't need to be buffed. They didn't. They were good already. I've used them in many playthroughs. Now they're better. Do I do Inquisition as the Dowie Czar? Probably not, but it's a funny idea. Tome of the Beacon, the Lightbringer, reduced resistance from 3 to 1. Ah, the mage nerf continues. Convert is now a range 3 single action. Range 3 is like half the range it was, so maybe the nymph thing wasn't a nerf. I think it was like range 6 or something, but it was a full action. So in a way it's a buff, and in a way you're now putting yourself at more risk in order to get the dominate. Which makes sense, right? It should be a double-edged sword. Tome of Exaltation, the Shrine of Smiting has gained the Fierce property. Smiting Praying Blast is now no longer affected by accuracy. Extra damage from faithful units in the battlefield now caps at 10. This, all in all, is a buff. Like, the only way you were getting more than 10 units is if you were doing a full... If it was like a full endgame stack. And that was all... Now it can't miss. Alright. Alright. Sure. Let's buff Order. Fair enough. For Shadow, the Tome of Cryomancy, the White Rich, reduced resistance from 3 to 1. The Tome of Souls, the Bone Daddy, has been renamed to the Bone Horror. Ruined. Ruined. Unplayable. Nope. 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 They better be planning on adding a Bone Golem. The reason they renamed this better be because there are plans for a Bone Golem. And I mean a proper Bone Daddy. I'm still going to call it the Bone Daddy. The Tomb of the Doom Herald Banshee. Increased defense from 2 to 4. Increased resistance from 4 to 5. And the phase changed from a range 4 leave 1 ability to a range 6 full action ability. I hope you know this kills the AI, because the AI loved, they had an absolute hard-on for phasing in and wailing. That was their plan. They had no other strategy. Wait, is that why they changed this? No, it can't be. No. I hate this phase change, by the way. I hate it. Disgusting. Gross. The Tome of Necromancy. Necromancer raise undead. Change from a full action to a single action. This is a good change. Tome of the Reaper. The world mass spell harvest population now also blocks bonus food income from having a city stability. And the Reaper has gained the Fierce property. I don't know what Fierce does. Harvest Pop is still dumb. Harvest Pop is still dumb. 1 second, we can find out. So the Fierce trait means minus 50% morale from all sources, and the unit cannot route. This was given to the Reaper, which couldn't route anyway. I guess this reduces its morale loss. And the Shrine of Smiting also couldn't route. Well, I guess this is for the morale. Did they give Fierce to the... All tier 5 units cannot route. That's a construct that doesn't care anyway. Okay, those are all the tome changes. My thoughts are... why? There are some good changes here. Some of these are like a mechanical change, which I understand. Like they're doing the whole domination thing to come into line with the Reaver's Subdue, or to equate to the Reaver's Subdue or whatever. That's fine. The buffs, the Shrine of Smiting didn't really need a buff, but sure. The Reaper itself needs more of a buff. Harvest Pop is still dumb. This blocks all food income from a city. And I guess there was a bug where if you had bonus food income, that would still trickle in. But I would never use Harvest Pop unless I'm like absolute end game, a city has 30 pop. That's when you use it. When a city has 30 population and cannot literally grow anymore, that's when you Harvest Pop. I feel bad for all of the tome-based casters that got their resistance shrunk for seemingly no reason. I thought they were nerfing Astral because the Reavers would be weak to Astral. But I don't think that's it. So I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. But you know what the worst change is? This. How can you possibly rename the Bone Golem? I mean, it is a bone horror. It's a horror of bones, but Bone Golem is iconic. Bone Golem is the Bone Daddy. And I am going to be mad about this. Also, before I forget, Tom did mention that they, as this patch is going live, they just started the pass-through on the necromancy mechanics. So a necromancy overhaul is coming. Whether it's in a patch before the next DLC or whether we have to wait until Primal Fury is up in the air. So, for my fellow necromancers, our time will come. Now I have to make a petition about renaming the Bone Daddy. And we're not done, by the way. I'm just ranting. Units. The unit type update. The Battle Mage units reduced resistance to various degrees. Yes, reduce total HP by 5. Ranged units reduce total HP by 5. See, I'm fine with reducing their HP. They're meant to be squishy. But battle mages are mages. Their resistance should be higher than normal. Mythic units gained control loss immunity, making them immune to dominated, subdued, berserk, and taunt. Excellent change. Mythic units, I think, are kind of weak. Although I'm about to be proved wrong by the Ironclad, I bet. Fae lost shock weakness. Lol. Increased Blade vulnerability from -2 to -4, and increased Spirit resistance from 2 to 4. The Entwined removed poison immunity. Oh, the Entwined unit type. I'm like, wait a minute, what? The Undead now have Bleed immunity and now have Heartless, which reduces the impact of morale events by 50%. Good. The new unit type is the Construct. Has Reinforce, +4 defense against rage attacks, and has Heartless, reduces the impact of morale events by 50%. -4 lightning vulnerability, control loss immunity, and immunity to bleed, distraction, disease, and poison. Wow. In Age of Wonders 3, they were very weak to lightning. Dreadnoughts did not want to fight sorcerers. But I thought they could also make it... Lightning damage could, like, stun them. More than usual. Can't remember, though. New unit, Bronze Golem, which is now an evolution of the Copper Golem. The new unit property, Warding, provides 3 resistance. The Tower subtype is now exposed again for units, and its tooltip will tell you about its implications, such as automatically attacking immobilized certain status immunities. Tower subtype. Alright. The water units now go as fast over water as floating, flying, and amphibious units. They used to need 4 movements per hex, compared to the 3 for the other types. Fair enough. Quick Stab is no longer a base melee ability, but just a melee ability. That's for casters who get tied up. Casters and ranged guys. Units in Refuge no longer have a zone of control. This means that adjacent enemy units can use ranged attacks. Excellent. Fuck the fish. Units in Transport can no longer move through obstacles. Units in Transports can no longer move through obstacles. Cool. I cannot think of what this means for the life of me. Culture units. Ah, yes, the culture reworks. By the way, we will see all of them in the upcoming series. The Barbarian Sunderer, the brave tier 1 skirmisher. Increase HP. Where's my bottle kept? Increase HP from 50 to now has 55. Okay, plus 5 health. Increase defense and resistance from 0 to 1. The Sunderer was already pretty good. Barbarian Pathfinder no longer has walking, that's their scout. The Dark Outrider. Oh, I thought this was like going to be... Oh, okay. I thought there was like, you know, this was Barbarian and this was Dark. No, okay. So there aren't that many units changes, actually. The Dark Outrider, the Scout, no longer has Rocky Camouflage, instead has Mountain Camouflage. The Dark Warlock, reduced resistance from 4 to 2. The Feudal Defender, increased defense from 3 to 4, increased resistance from 1 to 2. That's the Tier 2 Shield Bois. The High Dawn Defender, I think this is the Tier 1, right? Increased HP from 70 to 75. The High Awakener, reduced resistance from 4 to 2. This is a Tier 3 Battle Mage. Tier 3? 2 resistance? Okay. Industrious Bastion. Fuck this unit. Remove defensive masters from the Industrious Bastion unit. Yes! It now has a new ability called Defensive Sweep that deals damage to a target and adjacent enemies. Maybe not, yes. The Mystic Arcanist. Reduced resistance from 1 to 0. Yes. Because the Arcane culture doesn't deserve resistance. The Mystic Spellbreaker, reduced resistance from 4 to 2. This is a Tier 3 Battle Mage. Oh my goodness gracious. Is it apparent that I don't agree with this change? Because I hope so. But hey, we'll get to play around with it. We'll get to see how it feels as I shoot everything with Reaver Culture. Wildlife units. The following units went from being a single figure on a multiple hex, or on a single hex, to multiple. What? A single figure on a hex to multiple. Oh, they have the... Oh, there's not just one model. Okay. So there are 2 Druids of the Cycle. As if that wasn't terrifying enough. 2 Spirit Wolves, 2 Astral Hexes, 3 Flow Serpents, 2 Slithers, and lost the large target. Oh, interesting. Okay. So, this is a nerf, by the way. This is just a... Okay, losing large target is good for the Slither, but the rest of this is a nerf because now they can lose models. Although I wonder if the Empowered Beasts will give Spirit Wolf back to being just 1. Not sure. The following units now have large target. The Chaos Eater, the Tide Spirit, the Storm Spirit, the Stone Spirit, the Snow Spirit, and the Magma Spirit. Ah, here's your counter to just summoning elementals. Well, you know, they disappear in 3 turns, but now they all have large target, which makes them easier to shoot. They can't benefit from cover. And They take bonus damage from spears. Updating flying units to all have at least 40 MP flying and floating. Autumn Fairy, the Baylor, the Bone Dragon, the Carrion Bird, the Dragon Ruler. Oh, the playable character. Eagle Rider, Fire Dragon, Frost Dragon, Gargoyle, Golden Dragon, Grimbeak Crow, the Lightbringer, the Fish of Doom, Obsidian Dragon, the Phoenix, Spirit Hawk, Spring Fairy, Summer Fairy, Thunderbird, Winter Fairy, Wyvern Fledgling, the Young of Fire, Frost Golden, and Obsidian Dragons. The Bone Wyvern has the animal requisite. What? Do all the Wyverns have animal? Increased resistance from 1 to 2. The Melee Strike. Reduced physical damage from 10 to 8. Increased blight damage from 4 to 5. And has a 60% chance to apply poison. Oh no, I think that's a nerf, or a buff for the bone Wyvern. Ice Spiders and Unicorns are no longer elementals. They can still spawn together with elemental themed stacks. The Phoenix should be an elemental. Unicorn and Unicorn mounts changed phase from a range 4 leave 1 ability to a range 6 full action. They're basically saying if you're phasing, you are full, you're committing to a movement. That's it. There's no cute shenanigans you're going to do afterwards, you just commit to the movement. The reduced resistance from 4 to 2 for the Autumn Fairy, Winter Fairy, Thunderbird, Magma Spirit. Battle Mage resistance crumps. The Swamp Troll, reduce HP from 120 to 105 and reduce resistance to 5 to 4. You can recruit Swamp Trolls. I don't think I ever have. Entwined Scourge, reduce resistance from 5 to 4. This is the big tree that I actually don't like very much. The River Troll, Razor Net, increased damage from 20 to 24. The Ghost Ship Spirit Beacon can only trigger once per turn. I don't know what this is, because I've never had a Ghost Ship. Spring and Summer Fairies can now target themselves. They're hacks with their support abilities. Good change. The World Map. Rocky terrain is removed as an overlay. It is still present as a feature. This means that movement is no longer reduced from rocky terrain. Good. Improved terraforming logic to create prettier results. Looking at you, mountain destroying thingy. Pillaging teleporters, spelljammers, chrono gate, and demon gates no longer is considered an evil act. Oh. Spelljammer no longer blocks all spells from being cast in tactical combat. Instead, spells cast by enemies in tactical combat in the domain cost 100% increased combat casting points. Good. So basically what this means is spelljammers now only block maps on the world map. But in combat, which was the main reason you want to break them, it just costs double the combat casting points. Which for a champion or a dragon could be like really devastating. So you still want to break them, but at least they're not like mandatory anymore. Just partially mandatory. Roaming such attacking armies spawned by free cities and infestations can now upgrade earlier. Is that good or bad? Moved the ritual graveyard from a silver infestation to a bronze infestation. Selected enemy units now get deselected when they move out of vision. City spells are now consistent on when you cast them on allies. Any spell that only has beneficial effects can always be cast on allies, while any spell which has a negative effect cannot be cast on allies. These spells are Amplify Minds, Transmute Resources, Awaken Tools, and Fanatical Workforce. On allies. Like other players? Because I thought they made it so you couldn't do this to like free cities. Reign of Destruction now gives plus 50 gold per population of the raised city. Before it effectively only gave it plus 75 gold when raising. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Victory conditions. Allied score victory is now possible. Hey. Why? Okay, I guess I understand that. Losing your capital will now give all other players a quest to kill your ruler. Lol. Lol. Good. 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 Beacons of Unity will now be destroyed if the city they are annexed to is occupied. Fair enough. Bind Gold Ancient Wonder now cancels correctly when the province gets disconnected from a city or outpost, but will stay if you simply transfer the province between cities and outposts. Okay. Ancient Wonders. The Golden Ziggurat's upkeep reduction for magic origin units within the domain now only applies to the owner of the Ziggurat. Oh, it previously wrongly applied to any magical origin unit regardless of owner. Fair enough. The Violent Gorging combat enchantment from one of the Enchanted Caves events now displays Violent Gorging in the description as a hyperlink, which you can see the ability it actually adds to all enemies. Cool. Fixes! Bug fixes! Everyone loves bug fixes! General fixes in movement animations, making them a lot smoother to behave as expected. This should give the unit some more weight when moving. Mouse movement was not correctly handled under all circumstances, causing camera rotation in both the world map and combat to be unresponsive or inconsistent. A fix has been done to make this behave as intended. Good. Fix to crash when attempting to start a game with a faction that has colors or an icon from a disabled mod. The AI. Here we go. Fixed an issue where the AI will still send declarations even though they shared a vassalage with the opposing player. Okay. Fix an issue where the AI would send a request to the player for them to make a new declaration even if that player or the AI itself was a vassal. Where AIs would not continue pillaging domains. Where player AIs would ignore some form of concealment. Cheaters. An issue where performing a set of simple but specific actions would keep a sector in perpetual occupation state. An issue where the free cities would continue to spawn units. A bug in the handling of secondary missions. Fixed embarking issues. Fixed city founding issues. Fixed city production queue resetting on load. Fixed... Oh, that could really screw over the AI. Fixed coverage range issue in transaction solver. Fixed approved briefing mission reconstructor and army manager. Those are mostly from modders, I think, that information. Fixed an issue where free city armies would attack other free city armies that have the same overlord. Fixed an issue where free city armies would attack quest stacks. I've never seen that one, actually. Fixed an issue where the AI was able to build mutual exclusive buildings in their cities. Bullshit! Fixed armies halting their movement because of hidden pickups. Fixed a crash related to AI leaders ending a truce in the wrong way. Fixed that the AI no longer spends Imperium on extra city cap when it can still build into the city. Fixed an issue where universal camouflage was ignored by the AI. I just assumed that it was and that it wasn't useful. So, it looks like I was right. Combat AI fixed skirmisher units trying to hide behind each other. Fixed units accidentally standing on flee points when seeking cover. Fixed... I would have laughed. So I haven't seen this, but it would have made me laugh. Fixed hang in combat caused by the AI trying to cast a spell on an invalid position continuously. Fixed units not attacking when outnumbered. Fixed units running around when choosing not to attack. I have seen that one. And this one. Audio fixed music tags of flourishment and sovereignty songs. Fixed Sunderer Throw Javelin having no impact effect. Fixed for main menu SFX memory issues, and fixed mixing audio slider issue for certain units and abilities. Hey team, there's a lot of fixes. 4 hours. Oh dear. I'm sleeping before I'm recording. But there's a lot. Can we just wrap this up to there's bug fixes? Because I think that's the gist. So, all in all, bug fixes are good. If there's... Fix the rules, actually not giving Imperium. I'm just seeing if it says fixed... Yes, fixed the Baylor's power from slaughter damage modifier didn't allow stacking. Fantastic. This was bugged for a while. Good. Rainer destruction, reducing the time to raise by 3, while it should be by 2. See, that's... Fixed Knightly Order Empire skill applying to all units instead of only legendary rank units. Oh, well, that's a boon. Well, to be fair, by the time you get Knightly Orders, and it's like unless you're a full Order faction, if Order is like a secondary or even a tertiary thing, by the time you get it, you have legendary units. But hey, that's fine. As I skim, I see also agrees managers. Face an issue where creating a ruler with a female body type would automatically assign her a male title. Patriarchy lives on. I think we've gone over the important stuff. Because bug fixes are good, right? But Wand of Healing now allows the hero to heal themselves. But that's not what we were here for. We were here for wrong requisites. Animal kinship is now a transformation instead of a unit enchantment. Wasn't it always a transformation? I'm confused. So is Spawnkin. Artisan Blaze is now a unit enchantment. That's the crit thing. And Force of Nature is unit enchantment. I thought these already were. But anyway. Don't care about story realms. So yeah. These are the patch notes. All in all, I like the patch notes. I'm confused about their desire to nerf the Battle Mage resistances. Because you would think of all the defenses a Battle Mage would have, resistance would be their good one. You would think. But I don't know. And as I said, if you want to read the full patch notes in their entirety, including all the fixes that I just skipped over because there were a lot of them, then you can find a link to the patch notes in the description down below and in the pinned comment. All in all, I'm happy with the Golem update. And I'm very excited to see a lot of these features being just like the free changes and not locked behind the DLC. But I will moan and cry and bitch about the loss of the Bone Daddy forever. I'm gonna miss the Bone Daddy. Wasn't he also called the Bone Golem in Age of Wonders 3? Please revert this change. Please. Thank you all for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. Tomorrow begins the rise of Draz-Hoeth the Exalted. I'll explain why he's the Exalted and not the Ashen when the time comes. Thank you to the patrons and the channel members who support the channel. I greatly appreciate you. If you'd like to stay up to date, feel free to join the Discord description down below. And I will see you then. Bye.